What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Buy the Dip. We got a lot to talk about. So first and foremost, I would like to say that this is an everything crypto think tank channel, and we're going to discuss a lot of mistakes that people make in the space. We're going to discuss the mistakes I've made in the space. My name's Matt. I've been in crypto since 2017, 2018. I bought Bitcoin around $3,000 in and around 2018. Although I watched the cycle top out in 2017, 2018. Crypto, first of all, isn't for everybody. You need to be built a certain way for crypto, and you need to absolutely remove all emotions from your investing. So first and foremost, I want to lay some ground rules. The best thing you can absolutely do is dollar cost average a little bit at a time and never put in all of your money at once, especially if you're new. If you're new, there's a good chance that you probably don't know why you're buying Bitcoin or what Ethereum is or what any altcoin actually does. Lucky for you, I've done all that research. I've done thousands of hours of research 5 days a week for the past 7 years and lost a lot of sleep in doing so. How do I get rich, right? That's the question. Everyone wants to get rich overnight. No one wants to do the due diligence. No one wants to make the mistakes. People just want to become millionaires overnight. Unfortunately, I'll tell you, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen like that. And there's probably 0.01% of people, just like winning the lottery, that get lucky and make lots of money. And then, needless to say, they probably lose most of that money because they think it's that easy, which it's not. So, like I said previously, I've made every mistake in the book. I've made tons of money in crypto. I've lost some money in crypto. I've got scammed in crypto. It's really the Wild West. There's no 1-800 number you can call if you lose something. So you really need to know and understand what you're buying and how to buy and how to sell. And you've come to my channel probably the best time possible, because the bull market has just begun. I truly think the bull market started a few months ago. As you guys have probably heard before, the markets do get priced in ahead of time, so 6 to 8 months. It sounds like rates have stabilized. They're probably going to start lowering them, but big whales are packing their bags right now. I'm not going to get into TA. Technical analysis is usually a load of shit. You draw a bunch of lines and talk about ridiculous patterns and tell people that there's a 50% chance of us going up and there's a 50% chance of us going down. In the grand scheme of things, that isn't as important. I'm going to show you guys how to look at an all-time chart and determine whether or not a coin is bullish or not. I'm going to talk to you guys about mistakes that everybody makes, so you don't really have to. And another point I want to stress is that crypto, the space as a whole, really rewards patience. So you need to have a little bit of that, actually a lot of that, in order to succeed in this space. So I really wanted to just make an intro video outlining those points and just saying what's up to all you guys, because it's going to be a bumpy ride, but it's going to be extremely exciting and it will pay off for the most part. Something else that no one talks about. You hear during the bull cycles when everyone's making money and your grandma's talking about Bitcoin, usually marks the top, by the way, is when you should sell. You should have sold already. But everyone talks about success stories and everyone talks about the millions of dollars that they're up in unrealized profits. That doesn't mean anything. Those are just numbers on a screen. Everybody talks like they're a genius, because last bull run, you could have put a blindfold around a monkey's eyeballs and thrown a dart at a dartboard, picked any project, and that goes for stocks and crypto, and made money. So you don't have to be a genius to make money in a bull run, but you do have to know how to buy low, when there's fear and the sentiment is low, and sell high when there's extreme greed and people think that the price will never stop pumping and it's just going to keep going forever. The interesting thing about that, and what I realized last bull cycle when we were in euphoria, which now I understand what it feels like, is when things are pumping and then we get these 15-20% pullbacks and then they pump another 50, 60, 70%. That eventually stops. That ends. That doesn't go forever. What people don't realize is, when you zoom out, 2020's hindsight. So what's interesting is when you see that last pullback that turns into a bear market and the pumps have ended, no one can call that. And before you know it, you're down 20, 30, 40%, and people say, we're going to pump again. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. So there's obviously various blockchain metrics and fundamentals you can look at to determine whether or not the top is in. I actually was fairly close to the top last cycle. I thought it was in October of 2021, turned out to be in November. That doesn't mean, I took all my profits at that time. But, there are fake outs on the way up and there are fake outs on the way down. It's not about calling the top because no one calls the top. And it's not about calling the bottom because no one calls the bottom. Although it looks to me now, as our bear market has kind of come to an end, the bottom of Bitcoin was in around November of 2022 at 15K, right? The top was in November of 2021. So technically speaking, our bear market only lasted a year. I thought it was going to last longer, to be honest. And there you go. Everyone still thinks we're in a bear market. We're not. People are still waiting for that new crash, right? Bitcoin's at 40K. Everyone's still calling for a $12,000 Bitcoin. This is the same thing as last cycle when everyone was calling for 100K Bitcoin, right? But then the sentiment changed, on a dime with rates going up and obviously all the whales and insiders knew to dump. And we never reached that 100K. Same as we're never going to reach that 10K on the way down. I think the bottom was in a long time ago, right? It's been over a year. So technically speaking, the bull run lasts about 2 years. The first year, the first half of the bull market is slow, steady, sideways consolidation and upward movement, which we've had. And, Bitcoin's up 160% year to date, roughly, and people are still calling for new lows, which doesn't make any sense. So at the end of the day, you really have to trust yourself and your intuition. You have to understand what you're buying and why you're buying it. Are you buying Bitcoin to become rich? Because unless you have $1 million+ to invest, you're not going to become rich overnight. If you have a few $1,000s, like most people that I talk to, under $10,000 to invest, then I would look for other means in crypto, right? Bitcoin is the end goal. Bitcoin is where you want to consolidate your altcoin profits, where you want to consolidate your big 100x wins, your 50x's, because everything's 99% of stuff in crypto is a scam at the end of the day. So the best thing you can do is choose quality projects that won't correct 90+%. Maybe they'll correct 60, 70% holding on to them. I'm going to talk about exchanges based in Canada. I'm going to talk about how to buy and sell crypto, the best ways to do so. I'm going to talk about my previous experience, what I find works, what I find does not. I think this is the perfect time to start taking crypto seriously. It can be extremely daunting when the markets are down. I haven't taken my thumb off the pulse of it since 2018. And it is a lot. It's a lot to read. It's a lot to keep up with. It's a lot to study. It's a lot of reaching out to people. It's a lot of Twitter. It's a lot of Discord, YouTube, articles, white papers, etc. Right? Most people just find a couple channels they like, and these channels have turned into paid shillers, right? Like I started off watching Sunny Decree, Altcoin Daily, Coin Bureau when they all had sub 20,000 subscribers. Now a lot of them are top accounts with millions of subscribers, and they just talk nonsense. Altcoin's okay because news in the crypto space and whatnot, but they're already rich, right? They don't need to provide you with useful information and honesty in the crypto space because they've already made it big, right? So a lot of times these small projects or new projects, especially in gaming, GameFi is going to be really big. It's already a big narrative this run, along with AI, and these projects will reach out to big YouTubers and and say, hey, here's $2, $3, $4, $5,000. You want to make a 30-second video on this coin. So that's what paid shilling means, right? So they're essentially telling their vast following what to buy. And typically when that happens, these coins will dump aggressively because the insiders who already had pre-allocations at their foot in the door of these projects are being pumped up. Their bags are being pumped by people like you and I, retail, who buy into these things, right? Like obviously I'm not buying these coins, but you know, people that are new in the space and, oh my God, I heard this new project, it's so cool, this, that, all this jargon and nonsense, and no one actually knows what it means, you know, Web3 and blockchain and this and that. And like, most people don't even understand how long a Bitcoin block is. Tell me the difference between a blockchain and a block DAG or layer 2 solutions. There's so much to talk about, but I'm gonna keep it easy to understand, bite-sized pieces, and we're gonna just take it from here. So apologies for the low quality video. I'm currently in my car and I wanted to just get out a first video to just do it like Shia LaBeouf. None of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, so you should obviously take everything I say with a grain of salt. It's more for entertainment purposes. This is gonna be a hell of a ride. I truly believe this 2024-2025 cycle is going to be the biggest cycle in Bitcoin we've ever seen, which will naturally then lead down into the altcoins, which can make people life-changing generational wealth kind of money. You just really need to smarten up and take this seriously, because I've been around for 2 previous cycles and I've seen what goes on, and it's crazy, both up and downward. Like, so again, don't invest all the money you have. If you need more active income, get a second job. You know, I've recently figured out a lot of this stuff doesn't matter. A lot of it is just nonsense. A lot of these narratives, I don't know, it's just crazy. I don't want to get too far into detail here, but stick around for my future videos. I'm going to try to get some uploads up on a weekly basis at least. Welcome to the channel. If you've viewed this video, thank you. Please annihilate the like button and consider subscribing. I highly suggest you do, because these days it's incredibly difficult to navigate YouTube, especially with the crypto space. I would say 90+% of people are scammers or paid shillers, and they're not actually looking out for your best interests. Whereas I've learned a ton in this space in the past 7 years, and I finally want to share it with people because I feel like the time is right. So again, if you've seen a little bit of value in this video, give me a subscribe and stay tuned for better quality videos to come. It's only up from here, baby. All right, peace.